Hello guys, welcome to this new video, and in today's video we are going to see a French defense against black, and we'll be checking it from the white side, and we'll see that how this two knights French structure you can easily bring your opponent out of the theory. And we are looking for an interesting practical middle game ahead where we will be getting some place positions. We will like these positions to play over the board, and there will be a very good battle ahead. So without wasting any time, let's jump onto the screen. We all know French defense starts with e4, e6, and usually the main line undoubtedly which is d4. Okay, the main moves played over thousands, millions of games, but here we are going to changing our approach a little bit, and we are going to the knight f3. Black, the moment black has played d6, black will not check the approach. Black has to play d5. If black will play c5, which transposes to the Sicilian structure, but usually I can tell you, if someone is committed to play French, if someone is thinking that he is going to play French, then usually they will not transpose to the Sicilian structure. They will play d5 and will try to stick on their own preparation and own theory. And now here comes our move, which is knight to c3. We try to bring our opponent out of the comfort zone, and here there are multiple options available. We check all the possibilities, but the most important thing is the one line can easily go with this symmetrical structure, but here the position is pretty dull and you might not enjoy. But here the moment you play knight c3, you are offering your opponent for a quite new position where your both players might not see this position again before you on your game, and we're looking for an interesting middle game ahead. So here all the options we'll be checking one by one. One is knight to f6. This is one of the option. One option is c5. That is one option. Another option is d4. Yes, definitely. d4 is another option. And the last option is definitely d into e4. Okay. So all the four options we'll be checking: knight f6, c5, d4, a d4. Okay. All the four options. Let's see one by one. First, we'll check knight f6. This is the hardcore French approach. If someone is a very hardcore French player, so definitely you are going to face this move, and we'll play e5, knight f d7, d4, c5. And now here comes the point. If you want, you can transpose with knight e2 and classical stage variation, but we will not go into that, but we'll be taking here d into c5, knight c6 is coming, bishop to f4 will defend this pawn, bishop c5, bishop v3, and again we are avoiding theory here. White's plan is to play short castle. This bishop is still stuck here, and white's mostly plans are based on the king side attack. We know the idea will be coming with some rook e1, queen e2 moves. Okay, so here f6 is the main move. If black would play g6, h6 with the idea of k3, but we'll be playing bishop k3. And you can see the arrows. We are simply planning with castle, rook e1, queen e2, knight d2, even h4, knight d2, queen g4 is also another idea. And let's look at the main move here, which is bishop to d3 and then f6 definitely. And after f6, white should take with the knight. Okay, taking with the queen, and we can play bishop to g3, castle, and this position is quite simple, quite dry. And bishop g5 is definitely another move we can look for. Queen f7, castle, bishop h4. So again, similar kind of idea. Black will try to bring the knight on f6. White will try to play a4 and c4, try to challenge this pawn structure. But let's see, not this moment, but let's see what will happen with the knight edge, which is the most natural way to take. So castle, again, castle. Now this is a critical position, and which we have to know that what we are going to do. Otherwise, you might find yourself in trouble. If black center pawn will start rolling itself, then white might find some difficulty. So the bishop is kind of exposed in this half open f5, so we'll be bringing the bishop back, which is a very important key move. Now white's idea is based on either we will play knight e2 c4, either knight a4, c4. Idea is to challenge this center, and once this pawn will get exchanged with this pawn and this pawn, just imagine the e6 pawn will be picked. Okay, that is the plan which you have to play. Knight h5, black can come and take this double bishop on g3, where black will have some double bishop advantage, but we will be playing knight f4, bishop e7, c4, knight h3, g h3, d c4, bishop c4, and this position queen d1, a d1. And if you look at it, black's plan is based on bishop f6, e5, where I don't think that this bishop would be a very good bishop on h6 square, and this e6 pawn is pretty weak. So black has ruined this pawn structure, and the passive bishop on c8 is compensating for white's not having the bishop pair. That is the thing. And now how white is going to play against the weakness on a6? White is going to play rook e1, white piece up quite freely developed, pieces are quite active, and we are looking for it's going towards a little bit end game. I will not say this very proper middle game. It's going towards end game. The definitely it's a symmetrical position, but black is having a weakness on a6, and how white is going to attack on it, or how white is going to pressure on it, makes all the thing. Okay, now this is all about the knight f6 thing. If white is going to play knight f6, will be definitely black is going to play knight f6, will be definitely taking on c5, and this king side attack we are trying to launch. Okay, apart from that king side, is queen b6 will come to castle, and knight b5. This b2 pawn is a poison pawn. Knight b5 and knight c7 is immediately losing for black. If black will play short castle, then bishop e7 is coming with the cold thunderstorm, and king h7, and then knight g5 check, king g8, queen d3, rook d8, queen h7, and rook b1. Queen is trapped, and barely black can move. Black's is not going to survive here, and black is completely lost. So after knight c3, let's look at another move, which is c5. Is black is trying to play on the French spirit. Now there's a option for white, definitely ed5, ed5, and bishop d5 check, knight c6, d4. Black is quickly charging on the center, and we are saying that okay, black is completely undeveloped on the king side. White will quickly do castle. Black is left with the d5 isolated pawn after the exchange, and bringing the pieces very easily after the castling. And why black has to spend lots of time to develop all the pieces and castle, whereas black's center is already under fire by white pieces, and this is a very annoying pin. Knight e5 is also a threat. So this position is very pleasant for white, so definitely you can look at it. I'm stopping my analyzing here. I'm not going too much deep, because already you can understand black's game is a little bit difficult. So here are the movies. If we play d into e4, knight into e4, knight d7. Normally we are going to face this, and black wants to transpose it into Rubinstein structure. If we play d4, then knight f6 is completely transposing into Rubinstein structure. If we have seen French Rubinstein, so you know this move. This move can come, order can come from d4, this knight d7, knight f3, and knight f6. So this is a French Rubinstein structure. It can come from this line, but we will be checking it. We will not playing d4, but we will be playing bishop to c4. So that's the interesting move. Even b3 is another idea. With the idea of bishop b2, we can definitely explore on it with the move of later on c4, t4, bishop b3 castle. The game will go on. But yes, the main move bishop c4, we want to avoid theory, and we are going for the first position. Knight f6, black's idea is very simple. Knight f6, queen e2, with the idea of b3, bishop b2, again bishop e7. We'll be playing with the same plan, b3, bishop b2, b6. And now here one very important key moves which we have to remember is that white can do long castle and play this game. Black have already committed the king, so let's take the advantage of two bishops and try to open up the position. So here very important key move is g4. So we are sacrificing the pawn on g4. If g4 takes, then definitely it's going to be a nightmare for black in this position. But how black can handle. If you are not going to play, then I play g5. So bishop d7, g5, knight d5, rook g1. And our plan is very simple. We are going to play long castle. We are going to play h4, h5. Knight can land on to e5, g4 and f6. And very interesting middle game ahead. With the initiative of white, knight f4 can be possible, but queen e5, knight h5, and then queen to c3. Black is white is doing absolutely fine. T4 again, all the ideas are still in the air. Knight e5, knight g4, knight f6, or knight h6. So white is going pretty well here. Okay. So that's the line of day 2 e4. So playing against the Roman structure. If they are going to directly play knight f6, so we'll be taking on d4, which is not good. And white's development is very simple. c3, b3, bg5, castle, queen d2, and game is the position plays itself. We don't have to worry about it. If we are black plays c5, so d4 again, we will be playing against this because knight b5 is coming, so a6 has to play bishop s4, and you can understand that white pieces are very well developed. d6 square is a weak square, log castle is coming, bishop b3 or bishop c4 or bishop e3. Anyway, this rook is coming to e1, and white's pieces are coming very smoothly, very fluently. The fluid position in white's makes me very happy that white is going to have a better chances in the upcoming days. And the last thing which you are going to see, that what happens if black plays d4. The important move which you must consider, and because it changes the whole structure in the whole dynamics of this position, the pawn structure in the center has changed. Now we have to take this move very carefully. So d4 and knight e2, c5, and black is trying to get space in the king side. But what we are saying, this position is basically white will, if white will develop the pieces properly, this position is going to pay for him, and his pieces are moving toward the king side. When we playing d3, knight g3, maybe later on knight e5 or knight, even bishop e2, castle, knight e1, f4, f5 is coming. So multiple plans would be possible. This is the main idea to attack on the king side. So knight g3, we are going to play simple game. Here knight c6 is the most played move which you can face. Bishop b5, bishop d7, and we are going to change the pawn structure here. Knight e5. If you don't allow us, then see, even after exchanging all the pieces, I have eliminated my bad bishop on f1, my bad, not so bad knight on f3, and now white is having a very simple castle f4, f5, and the attack is coming very fast. So here another move is there which Kapita has suggested, which is h5, trying to play grab space on the king side, and this kind of a very trendy moves. Black is trying to play h4, but bishop b5 check. We have to get out with our bishop. We think we should consider that we should not get locked in this pawn check. Bishop d5 check. If bishop b7 will be taking an h3, and knight c6, d3 again, same idea, long castle, and a very complex position. Both sides are chances. Vice plan I can sell 10 using a3, b4, might sacrifice the pawn, bishop comes to d2, and both rooks will try to come on this b1 or a1 square, even try to play on this queen side. If black plays knight to d7, then h4, we stopped this h4 thread. a6, bishop into d7, queen into d7, d3, knight f6, bishop f4. This position, white has again solves the problem of this bad light square bishop, whereas black's dark square bishop is still there and it's a poor piece. White is having a very firm control over the e5 square. White is going to play castle later on, maybe queen d2 and keep the king on e2 is also not to be worried. And this game is position is already played by Daniel Dubom in a game, so you can definitely look at it as a reference game. So with this, we are going to conclude the French defense as white. So if you like these lines, so definitely let me know in the comment section. And apart from that, this knight c3 approach is a very fast approach, and you can definitely try it out in some drills game, in some rapid game, and even in classical format, that your opponent might get surprised from the beginning, and then you can try to slowly push your opponent, because you know the structure better than your opponent, and you have played it more games. And wherever black will go, black will not have a very easy life in any of the way, where white might know the strategy better, which piece to keep, which piece to exchange, and like that white can place the game. So please, if you like this one, please share with your friends, and if you are new in my channel, kindly subscribe. See you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.